Hello and welcome to Spirit Insight Celebration of Consciousness. I'm your host, Lorelei Talk. With me is Katman Udarro, and the other co-host is Betty Guadagno. Thank you for being with us today. This is about celebrating the joy and beauty of being connected. And I am so thankful that you are here today. And say hello, Kat.
Hello, Kat. I'm sorry I had to. That was so bad. All right.
Oh, good.
So sorry. Setting the tone already. All right, there we go.
Hence the joy, right? And Betty, want to say hello?
Hello, family. So grateful to be here in this space with you.
And we are so happy that you all joined us here today. And then, Kat, you want to open us up with your beautiful blessing today?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Lorelai, for being the heart that has generated this experience for everybody. And I just think it's important to give you that recognition immediately because you are the goddess who's holding this space for the portal of this love to come through, the celebration of that. And I think we really just need to tip our hats to you. And so, here. All right, my love. So with us, we have a very strong Fae presence, and they have been with me for quite a bit. And they just want to make sure that their energy is with us today as what I call the Gaiatric matrix, the goddess mothers that are holding the earth in balance, as they bring their love and their energy and their connection to us. They ask us to surrender our expectations, and they ask us to go into a place of receiving, and they ask us to be there with them and to allow ourselves to experience what we experience and honor it and just be present to it and allow the energies and the love and the oneness, the Christ consciousness, source energy, whatever you would like to know that as, to be open in this portal that Lorelei has co-created with the celestial families, and that we are all agreeing to, and that we're all sharing together in this time and space. So with that, we'll just give our eyes a little bit of a rest and sink into our bodies. And we are calling in Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and the beautiful celestial families of which we are all a part. The Fae families, the sacred families, the extraterrestrial, the multidimensional. All aspects of ourselves are welcome to be present in this experience as we open our hearts to love, as we open our hearts to each other, as we see each other as family, as community, as the expression of love on the planet together, and the breath of God, the breath of the universe, and the expression of the now. So I'm going to do just a little bit of toning, and this is just a quick attunement of the beautiful energy coming through this portal of oneness. So receive it however you will. It's yours for the receiving. And express it however you will. If you feel like expressing tone as well, you're welcome to do so. with that, let's just feel into our heart. Let's feel into our belly. If it feels good to rub those parts of your body, you can place your hands there and just breathe in for a moment. Know that you are connected to Gaia. Know that you are well received. Know that you are held in universal love light. And at all times, you are connected to the Gaia consciousness and the eternal light of love in all things. And so this is a bit of a welcome home party, they're saying. So welcome yourself home into yourself and receive the love that has been resonant and expressed in this portal of love. And we thank again Lorelei, the container, and the goddess expression with so much beauty and power and grace. With that, whatever your amen is, amen. Aho.
That was beautiful, Kat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was totally out of my body. I'm glad that I'm back here on Earth with my eyes open. Thank you. So I'm really grateful to be able to introduce this morning Greg Pacini. So Greg had an NDE at birth and feels the echoes of that event most clearly in his music. He's a psychotherapist of 42 years, a singer-songwriter of 3 aired albums, and the author of 2 books, including Journey Beyond Hardship, which is endorsed by a couple of New York Times bestsellers. And just on a personal note, I met Greg at the IANDS conference last year in Salt Lake City, and he has inspired me to tap back into my own creativity, creating conscious community and celebrating people in their art. And I'm very grateful for him in my journey. And I'm so grateful to introduce him to this collective and have him share his art with us. So thank you so much, Greg. Thanks for your willingness.
Thank you, Betty. Truly, that prayer was so helpful and supportive. Thank you, Kat. And Lorelei, thank you for your intention, Betty's intention, and Kat's intention with this Celebrating Consciousness series that you're going to do. It's an honor to be a part of this. Thank you. So this first song is about the power of not knowing. It's called It Will Be. When to laugh, when to just say no, when to keep, when to let it go, when to hope, when to let it die, when to sleep, when to dry your eyes, when to climb, when to settle down, when to play, when to dance around, when to see, when to close your eyes, when to be in darkness, when to soar, to fly. I don't know the answers to these questions, but I know if I open up my heart, it will be. When to hide, when to hold on tight, when to question, when to trust the light, when to hesitate, when to jump right in, when to shut the gate, when to let 'em in, when catch my breath, when to stay the pace, when to rack my brain, when to quit the race, when to be the man, when to be the grace, when to let the silence, when to see that face. I don't know the answers to these questions, but I know that if I open up my heart, it will be. I don't know the answers to these questions, but I know that if I open up my heart, it will be. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That
Oh my
was
goodness.
Thank you.
Ooh, how powerful. Thank you so much.
Oh, honored. Thank you, Kat. Wow. So this song is, I certainly want to dedicate this to my sister Jean. Without her, probably wouldn't be sitting in front of you. That's a whole story. This song is an invitation to freedom, I suppose, but the course to freedom is sometimes difficult. If you've been traumatized or really hurt, this invitation that I'm offering is not easy to accept, but here it is. This is called To Soul. Your pain, you're giving, yeah, yeah, yeah. Heart stained, we're nourished. Let go. To soul. Your anger, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're giving, yeah, 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 yeah. Near the danger, ooh. Lost in living, ooh, let go. To soul, yeah, yeah. Ha! Two solutions. Truth confusions, yeah, 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 yeah. Dreams preparing, ooh. Love's repairing, whoa, whoa. Let go. To soul.
Beautiful. Thank you, Greg, so much for that and being here. You just move me. I so appreciate you and your beautiful music and what you put into the world. So we are so thankful you're here with us today.
Honored to be. You want one more, or you want to?
Yeah, you have time for one more if you'd like.
Sure. Okay. There was some research that was put out by scientists about the quantum entanglement, and they won the most recent Nobel Peace Prize in physics. And the idea is that everything is connected, and most people that have had NDEs experience that, they feel that, and so science is backing that up. And that's, I guess, if you look at it, that's what this song is about. Hearts, they move like one heart. They hold the holy past. Such rich and precious treasures become the first, the last. The truth resides in each heart. It speaks in quiet voice. No need to push the issues, for life resides in choice. All hearts full know the whole truth. Our hearts pursue that whole, with years behind and seeking, separate yet joined, one soul. I love you so much. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. La la, da di da 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 di da la.
That was beautiful and so on our theme today about connectedness. So thank you so much for that, Greg. I really, really love it, and it's so appreciate you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Laura.
for setting up. I know everything you did to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
Now we're going to move on to our spiritual experiencer. Leena Zafary is with us today to share her near-death experience and spiritual journey. Thank you for being here today. Leena underwent a near-death experience in 2014, which she later opened to many spiritually transformative experiences. She co-founded the Mind-Body Alignment Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, and she is also the leader of the Las Vegas IANDS. And she'll be demonstrating her Bio-Acoustic modality for our community on April 16th. We're so happy to have you here today, Leena. Thank you for being with us and sharing your experience.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Lorelai. This is such a beautiful container that you have created. And my God, that music was just absolutely divine, and it was so perfect. As you can see, I believe that music is such an integral, important part of who we are. I mean, like, we are instruments, and I feel like we just got a nice tune-up. So thank you for that. I am so excited and happy to share my experience with everyone today. I do have to say that in 2014 is when my near-death experience happened, which was my second one, but it's the one that actually brought me to the awareness of everything. And wow, a lot has transpired since. So much, it's unbelievable. But the near-death experience itself happened, what started off was a common cold. I got a common cold, and it escalated to, well, it escalated to becoming the N1H1 virus. But what happened was it constricted my ability to breathe. I could not breathe. And with intuition and listening to my guide, I went to the hospital just to get checked out. And once I was there, they actually admitted me. Before I knew it, I was in the hospital and on a breathing ventilator. I could not breathe. And well, before I explain what happened with my near-death experience, I kind of have to give you a little bit back end into who I was and why the near-death experience was the way it was and why it meant what it meant to me. My first near-death experience happened at birth, which is a whole nother story. But that kind of put me on a path that I did not know and I had no awareness, but it definitely put me on a different path and a different journey. And right around the age of 10, 12, I actually had some sort of a stomach problem, stomach pain, which I was taken to the hospital. And in that visit, I did not have a near-death experience. However, I did have something which wasn't told what happened to me. But the story that I told myself after my body healed, after I physically healed as a young girl, the story that I told myself was, I couldn't have children, just because of the place of the scar and what happened to me and my lack of understanding of what occurred. I told the story to myself that I must not be able to have children. So fast forward as an adult, and I get married and I discover I'm pregnant, and that becomes like a miracle, a miracle answered. I was pregnant and it changed my life. My life just went completely focused and zoomed into my children, my son at the time. And then I had another daughter. I had a daughter 3 years after that. So by 2014, I had 2 children. And my life was devoted and completely focused on them. So when I had my experience and when I ended up in the hospital, in the 10 days or 9 days that I was in the hospital, I really don't have many memories of what happened to me or what was happening to me. The only awareness and memory that I have of my experience in the hospital in the 9 days was I would come to, I would become conscious momentarily and ask for my children and beg and want to go home. I was like, you guys have to let me go home. I'm fine. I'm fine. I need to go home. My son, who was about to turn 5, his birthday is January 13, and I was in the hospital right a week before that. So all I could think about was getting out and going home to my son. The thought of him having a birthday without me, it was so painful that I could not deal with that. And I was also missing and yearning my daughter because I was nursing. So her not being in my arms, not being with me, it was like I would come to and I would panic and I would want, and then I guess I don't have any other memories. But the moment that the experience happened, which was, from what I hear, about 5 days into my hospital stay in the ICU. Again, even in the ICU, the only memory I have is waking up and asking to go home. So when I did have the near-death experience, which, by the way, did not know that that's what it was, but I woke up. I was completely consciously awake and aware. All of a sudden, I found myself up, and just like this, I was awake. I looked around and I think, okay. And then I proceeded to look down. I realized I was in the ICU room. And even though I could see the white walls in the white hospital room, I could see through the walls, and I could see I don't want to call it outer space, but like I could see the darkness of the universe, but it was almost like clear darkness, like I could see through everything. But I found myself inside this lit up room. And as I looked down at my body was completely clear. It was like this glass. I could see right through myself. And I looked at myself, I was like, okay. And I looked over to my right, and I realized that I was actually sitting at the edge of the hospital bed. And I looked over, and there was my body. I was in the hospital gown, and I was just kind of propped up a little bit, but I was just like laying there and lifeless. And I looked at myself, but there was no attachment. There was no like, oh no, oh my God, what happened to me? It was just like, okay, there's my body, kind of like with the end of the day when you take off your clothes and kind of like throw them on the bed, and then later on you're like, oh, there's my clothes. I was like, there's my body. So as I was shifting out of that and looking over here, it was like almost at the same time, but right around there, I heard a voice. It was a voice of a woman, kind of very gentle, kind, assertive, and strong. And it started to speak. And it said, Leena, you need to come back. You got to come back. Your kids are waiting for you. You're the only one who can make that decision. So you got to make that decision. Leena, make a decision. You got to come back. And as this voice is playing out and speaking to me, I'm listening to it. I'm also kind of directed to like look to my left. And as I look to my left, I see my children, my kids, my son and my daughter. And they're just kind of like in this space sitting here. And I look at them. And it's like that moment when I saw them, I felt them. I felt the love that I felt at their birth and in all the years that I held and nursed them. It was this feeling of like everything was fine. Everything was good. It was light. It was bright. It was clear and crisp. It was like taking a deep breath on top of a like cold mountain, like, just that fresh breeze. It was perfect. And I proceeded to look out further. And as I look out further, what I see was in the darkness, I was able to see people sitting in the distance. And they were all sitting facing me, and they were all looking towards me. And they were all in prayer for me. They were literally, everybody was in prayer for me. And I could see and I could hear. Some I recognized and some I did not recognize, but they were just people sitting there in prayer. And as I would look at them, I would be so overwhelmed and filled with love because I knew they were praying for me. And it's just indescribable, the feeling. But the amazing thing happened. As I was looking at them, they would kind of rise up from the crowd, and they would come close to me, and they would come near, and they would look like the flame of a candle. They became a candle with the light, and it was extraordinary. So I would go back and I would look at another person, and the same thing, they would rise up above and come towards me. And as they came towards me, they would turn into a candlelight, and I would see this light. And it was at that moment that I must have made the decision, because I don't recall making a decision. I don't remember making a decision. All I know is that I made the decision, and I was back in my body in effortless, seamless way. There was no thought. It was just like instant. The only thing is when I came back to my body, I have no memory. I have no memory of anything happening to me in the hospital. But what I have found out since is that in the 4 or 5 days that I was in the ICU, the H1N1 virus was very much like the COVID virus, where it attacks the respiratory and the lungs, and it had completely wiped out both of my lungs. The doctors had pretty much called my father, my husband at the time. Family said, she's not responding to any treatment. There's nothing we can do. She has lost both lungs. There's nothing we can do. And I don't know how, but I came to. I woke up. When I woke up, I had no idea of all of this happening, which was told to me in the past couple of years when I finally was able to get my father to talk about what happened to me. But when I came back, I was fully healed. I was breathing on my own. I went home almost immediately. I did not stay at the hospital. I did not have any kind of treatment. I did not take any kind of medication. I literally got up out of the ICU and drove home with my husband. I went home, and I opened the door and I saw both my kids, and everything at that moment, I think somehow I didn't question anything. That, I was home. I had no idea that I had an experience. I had no idea what even happened to me, that there was words to it or there was language to it. So I just proceeded to be mom. And days later, I was able to have a birthday party for my son, which was not really a party because it was just immediate family. Nobody was really allowed to come to the house because my immune system was low. That's what I was told. So I had to be careful about who was able to come and go. But I made it home to my son's birthday, and that was that was a miracle for me. But that experience was so profound. I was not in my head. I had no understanding. So I just went home and I was being normal, but it changed my life. It changed me in such a way that I didn't have an understanding of what the changes that was occurring was happening to me. So it kind of created a lot of friction in my world and in my life. And I moved from state to state, and I got divorced. I moved again, and and in that whole space and in that process of my life falling apart, there was this beautiful spiritual journey that was also opened as well. There was this portal that was opened, and it was in that space that really shook me up and said, okay, hold on a second, something is happening here. You got to pay attention. And what happened was I had a spiritually transformative experience, which again, at the time, I did not know, but I had an incredibly transformative experience in a float tank. Just a random day, a couple of my cousins said, hey, let's go to a float tank. And I was like, well, what's a float tank? And they're like, well, they described what it was, and basically also known as a sensory deprivation tank. So you're kind of immersed in water in complete silence, in complete darkness. So basically you're cut off all your senses. And I don't know what in me thought that that was a good idea. I was scared out of my mind, but I said, okay, well, let's go do it. And we went to this facility. It was in San Diego, excuse me. And I had this experience. And in this experience is where there so much happened in this experience. First of all, I went through a tunnel. After I was in the tank, and it was pitch black, it was dark, I started to breathe. And as I was breathing, this light and smoke came, what I called light and smoke. But now that I have the language, I guess they call it prana, right? Source energy. It just kind of came from above me, and it came up in front of me, and it came to me. And I just inhaled it, and I just breathed it in. And as I was breathing it, I kind of transitioned, and I was transported outside this realm. It was no words. The experience was absolutely amazing. I had no spiritual practices before this. I did not have any strong religious beliefs before this. So a little bit about me. I was born in Afghanistan, and I was raised in a Muslim family, and a very loving, embracing, kind, family-oriented family. I had an amazing childhood, an amazing upbringing. But religion and spirituality was always an issue. I never really connected with religion, with my religion. I had too many questions. So spirituality was not in the vocabulary for me. So when I had these experiences, it came from somewhere with no knowledge, no words, no nothing. But this voice started to talk to me, and started telling me about my chakras. And I had no idea what a chakra was. Never heard of it. But I was told about my chakras, and I went through a tunnel, and I came out through a tunnel. And I had many visions. Lorelei, I could keep on talking, but how am I doing on time? I don't want to get carried away, but it took me so many years to understand and integrate the meaning and understanding of everything that I went through and everything that I saw and experienced. That it's taken me a long time to actually come out and talk about it and share those experiences, because it was so profound. When I came back, I realized that something happened to me, and I didn't know what. And the hardest part about that was thinking I was the only one, thinking that, what do I do with it? What do I do with this information? It was so much. Am I the only one? How is everyone gonna, how am I gonna share this? How is this gonna be received? What do I do? And it was just incredible. And what I had done at that point was basically go backwards. And I had to educate myself, and I had to understand and learn the spiritual path kind of going backwards. So I wasn't per se on the spiritual path where I was meditating, where I was learning, where I was growing and building. So, oh, I have arrived where I was trying to get to. I had no idea. I was put into a state, and I was like, oh my God, what happened? What is this? Oh my God. So I had to basically go backwards and say, okay, so this happened to me. What is it? How is it? And I found, like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Oh my God. I had one guide after another. I had one teacher after another. And everybody in the most seamless way just explained to me what everything was, how I got to where I was, and what it meant, and how I got there, and what that path was. And you know, and it's a journey that I've been on for the past 8 years, 9 years, and I think it's a journey that I'm going to be on for the rest of my existence, because there's so much love to share. There's so much beauty in this world. I obviously had an incredible experience where I was merged with the divine. I did not have conversations with anybody in my experiences. I did not have a life review. I did not have any language or conversations with anybody that, you know, I came back with and had dialogue to kind of refer to. For me, it was just this expansive universe, and I was in it, and I was it. And everything was being spoken to me through me, but without words. It was almost like the entire time I was watching everything unfold in front of me, you know. And I know that there was a lot of codes and a lot of downloads that was given to me. And I also know that those downloads and those codes in the past 8-9 years have been slowly evolving like a flower, you know, like the more I move forward, the more I integrate, the more I understand, the more I feel and share. It's like the more it just blooms, and the more it just makes sense, you know. So I believe that my story, I believe that our stories has the potential to empower and ignite in people, you know, to start their own inner journey. Because it wasn't my experiences. I mean, yes, it was my experience, but it was the journey of me, my own physical human Leena. I had to go within, and I had to like figure out who I was, why all this stuff was happening to me, what all this stuff meant. And you know, and it's been the most incredibly amazing journey, and it's up and down, and it's still happening. But I'm so honored to be here and to be able to speak and share, because honestly, the way I see it is we are all light. We are all a candle. We all have different shapes, sizes, and colors, but the light inside all of us is the same. And you know what? Our light never dims when we help light another light. I mean, it's just as strong. And that is my mission, my goal in life, is to share my story, and through that story, just to ignite the light that's in all of us. So thank you so much for letting me share. Yes.
Thank you, Leena. That was absolutely beautiful. As you could tell from my voice, I was really feeling what your experience. So thank you for sharing that your beautiful light with us. Thank you so much, so much.
Thank you so much.
I just want to take a moment, if that's okay. I'm just absorbing that beautiful glow. Thank you. Now we're going to open it up to all of you that are present to share how spirit has moved through you in a positive way, or made you bloom, as Leena would say, and lit you up. So if you'd like to share your experience of how spirit moves through you, you can each have like 3 minutes. If you just raise your hand or wave and feel free to speak how spirit moved through you. Okay, Kat.
Okay. I'm going to break the ice. So I just want to say that, well, first of all, thank you, Leena. I mean, I think that you are talking about this portal situation that we are all experiencing, and you just brought the energy in again and amplified it with your essence, with your story, and how bright, brilliant, and beautiful that is. So thank you for doing that. And I had to go off camera for Greg's performance because, like, Loretta's here. Now the party has started, y'all. Okay, it's just got real. Okay, we are excited that Loretta is amongst us. All right, so now with Greg's music, like you said it, Leena, like there was an attunement. Like he did some sort of an attunement on us. And wow, spirit was just rippling through me. And I was like, okay, now everyone has to see the ugly cry. So I'm going to turn my face off for that. I just want to say thank you so much for the energy that you have brought in, sir, and for christening us with that alignment. I feel very blessed by that. So thank you. That's my gratitude.
Thank you, Kat. Anybody else want to share anything? Kat? The other Kat?
Well, I've had a number of experiences, but one that I really feel guided to share because it just was amazing. My sister, who is 8 years younger than me, was killed by a drunk driver in 2009. And I went back. It was a shock because I never thought my sister would die before me. So I went back east. I was living in California at the time. And when I came back from that, obviously you can imagine it was really devastating. Just a couple of days after I got back, I was driving on this highway in Santa Barbara, and I was thinking about how we never know, what the whole thing was happening and what was going on with that guy and why, he was, drunk and how that happened. But I do believe that, there's no accidents and that things are always like soul agreements ahead of time. And I was thinking about, how I had to forgive him. And I remembered that when my uncle died, that my cousin had such a problem with drinking and stuff that he actually hit and killed someone. And so here I am thinking about my cousin Tommy and my uncle Bob and about this person who had, caused the death of my sister. And this car that's in the right-hand lane pulls in front of my car, and the license plate was UNCABOB, Unca Bob, right? This whole thing. So I just felt like I have to find out where he is and reach out to him and tell him that I forgive him. And so I wrote this letter, and he was in a jail, and I sent this letter there. And I don't even remember exactly what I said to him, but I said, I don't know what your story is and what happened and why you came to be, he was on cocaine too. But I said, I know that, there are no accidents and that it must have been my sister's time to die, but you've been given another chance, that you didn't die, and that you may find that there's some greater purpose in your life or something, I don't remember else, but anyway, I got a letter back, actually first from his mother, because the mother, I guess, read the letter and then passed it on to him or something like that. But she thanked me for reaching out to him. But he wrote back to me, and he was feeling so guilty and so upset for taking the life of this beautiful person. And so we continued to correspond, and maybe several months later, he finally communicated to me that he'd never told anybody, but that when he was young, he was molested by this guy that lived down the street multiple times, and that he causes drug and alcohol addictions and all of that. And he saw that guy a couple days before the accident happened, and it really set him off even worse than it happened. Well, what happened because of that, he shared his story in prison when they had, different types of therapy and stuff like that. And it turned out that a lot of other people had had similar experiences, but had never shared them with anybody. So it opened this whole thing up for people to be sharing their experiences of all of that. And really, I think probably was very transformative. And he just said that he just kept thanking me for reaching out to him and helping him in that way. And I ended up, when I moved back to Massachusetts, I saw him a couple times. And then when he got released, a day after he got released, before he was going to move to Florida, he asked to see me. And so I saw him again. Oh, and he also joined the guide dog program, and he ended up training guide dogs when he was in the prison. And he wanted to really make a difference in people's lives and all of that. So it was like this really, remarkable thing that happened. And he also told me he ended up I don't know if you saw him, but he reached out to the guy that had molested him and forgave him. So it was this whole thing of me trusting that I was being guided to reach out, and the instincts that came through. And to me, that's just such a beautiful experience of how we all get connected, and just to follow those little nudges that we get sometimes, because amazing things can happen.
Oh, thank you, Kat. Sorry, you got my eyes glazing. Thank you for that beautiful share and the connectedness that we all have, and that reminder. It's a beautiful theme for today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share before we move on? Okay. Then we'll move on to Kat's beautiful meditation. I believe it's a good space for that right now. So we'll let him take that and go.
All right. Okay, everyone. Now, I'm going to just do one little favor for myself. This is something that I do with the work that it is coming through to help the consciousness of the planet do exactly what everyone has been doing here today, which is stepping into this portal of love and being an open receptacle. And I just want to say, Cat Weeks, my goodness, if you didn't just hit all of our hearts in the most magnificent way with the beauty of what it means to surrender to the nudge. Or sometimes it's, let's not do 2x4s anymore. Let's just get to the nudge phase where we start to surrender to that, to the pushes, as opposed to the I told you, why didn't you? Ooh, no, we can surrender, and I think that is really the gift of the of this portal and of the NDE. I mean, and being in an NDE situation, you have done surrendered. You are no longer you are a passenger in what you are experiencing, as well as the experiencer. And there's just a certain level of surrender that comes in to the whole experience of saying yes to your greater self, and yes to your what my team and my family calls our celestial self. And the celestials include all of our kin, and so that's what I want to start with, is calling in all of our kin before we get into the vibe and the feel of the meditation. And so I'm going to say, just so FYI, I put some music on for myself in the background, which helps me tune in. So if there's music that, as you're tuning in and sinking in, you want to put on for yourself in the background, you're welcome to do that, as long as you got it and you're muted, or you have it in your earphones. And you have a blanket to, watch what you're doing. Make sure you're staying aware of your environment, but make sure you also get comfortable and get nice and cozy. And let yourself feel good where you are, because this is just about being able to receive the energy that's in this portal. This is just a bigger invocation of that energy, and being able to listen, just like Cat Weeks did, to those nudges, and to let yourself Just sink into the experience that is here for you now. So closing your eyes, and letting yourself feel connected to Gaia, feel connected to the earth, feel connected to your heartbeat, being inside your beautiful body. You are all beautiful children of the stars. Literally every part of you is stardust, being born again and again in this time-space continuum. And you are blessed to wear this star suit and be a star being, bringing the gifts that your soul is bringing to the planet, bringing the love that your tribe, your heart, your family, your celestial aspects are anchoring into the world, connecting with all the others, whether these show up for you as Sasquatch, if they show up to you as a Zeta, if it shows up to you as a goblin, if it shows up to you as a gnome. However Source manifests in your life to guide you and nudge you and wake you up to the truth of who you are. Surrender into that a little bit more and let that energy be present with you in this portal moment, in this portal energy. Allow your energy to sink down into your feet. Again, surrendering to the flow, the Gaia flow, the energy flowing up from the Gaia matrix, the three goddesses standing in the portal that is the Gaia energy, guiding this energy into our experience, setting up a sequence of love and acceptance, of nurturance and guidance, and of allowance. And if it just feels good to say Mama Earth or Gaia, then just tune into that. Don't worry about the details. Go into the feeling. Always trust what your love, sensation, vibration, awakening is feeling like. Sometimes it can feel confusing at first, when we first learned how to trust ourselves, when we first learned how to say yes to ourselves and give ourselves all the space and energy that is ours, with love, with compassion. With gentle surrender. So we are now going to just allow the energy from Mama Earth to flow up through our feet. Flow up through our legs. Allow it to just connect into our energy. Allow ourselves to be present to however we're feeling inside of our body, inside of our star suit that we're wearing, inside of this magnificent vehicle and vessel. There's a lot of energy coming through, so I have to ground it, and my body's vibrating right now. So if you're feeling an energy coming up and through, just allow it to be there. And if it feels uncomfortable at first, just be present and breathe. And just know that it's energy moving through you, and it's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You're just being loved in this moment, inside this energy that has been opened up and amplified. It's okay to receive. It's okay to stop for a while. It's okay to be celebrated. And with the word celebration, the Fae energy comes forward, and there's a leprechaun friend called Sir Thomas that I met in one of my attunements with a friend. And he has since moved on to another party to remind us that celebration is so important, and being open to celebrating yourself and acknowledging the magic in your life. That you are a magical star being, and you deserve to celebrate what you've done in your life so far. You deserve to celebrate everything you've been through. My goodness. What if Lorelei had an NDE and just, buried it and said, I'm going to bury it, never share it, never give it out to the world? This moment would never have happened. So your light is that important. Stepping into the portal and saying yes to yourself and celebrating with yourself, for yourself, because you are so special. As Rev Ned is the fountain of telling you how special you are. That man will not give up until you get just how precious you are. And that is the quality of love that is coming through for you all, okay? These are some very beautiful, sacred beings that are present, holding us, loving us, and wanting us to know just how special we are. So let's breathe into our bellies. Let's breathe the light of Mother Earth up into our bodies. Let's breathe that energy flow up and through our legs. Let's breathe our connection to Earth. Let's breathe our connection to our celestials through our skin. We're not just made of stardust. It is pouring down all around us in light frequency and light energy at all times. So drink that in. Drink in the preciousness of your light in this form, and how cherished you are, and how special it is to be part of something where the sacred is seen and recognized, and where it's safe to be vulnerable. It's safe to be all of yourself. I think that is the cooperative intention here. And sometimes it's easier than others, but we're all honing our presence and our surrender, and owning our power with grace and beauty and sovereignty. The journey that you are on, you are worth this journey. The magic that you are being pulled into, you are that magic. The mystery that is being played out in front of you. It's confusing at first. And you were saying, Leena, am I the only one? Is it just me? I thought I was the only one. And I think that is one of the hallmarks of awakening, is that sometimes it feels like you're in this alone. But just know that everybody is in this network of love, and we're now waking up and recognizing each other, and we're supporting each other, we're co-creating, we're collaborating, we're learning how to lean into each other, but still be dependent, interdependent, but dependent, because it feels so good to finally look into each other's faces and recognize one another, and make room for one another, and celebrate the beauty and the love that is the Christ consciousness, that is source energy coming through us as us, and through so many other different avenues, so many other different venues of awakening. And we're here to celebrate all of them together in unity, because we are all aspects of the same consciousness. And we're celebrating all aspects of all consciousness as it rises into the love wave, that portal energy that Betty brings in with her every time, everywhere she goes, from her experiences of utter being a queen of transformation, just a goddess of transformation. And so it's this quality of achievement that is amongst us, and we've all had so much we've gone through, and there's so much to be celebrated, and there's so much more to be experienced. And we are not alone now doing this. The Celestials are with us. The Fae are with us. All of your family, extraterrestrial, forest family, at an energy of this magnitude, you know they are here paying attention. You know they're here celebrating. You know they're here lending their energy into this attunement, this at-one-ment of self within the fractal truth of oneness that you really are. Oh. And if I have one prayer before we do this final little tone attunement, and that is that Greg Pacini would do an outro song for us. That's just my little personal prayer. If that feels good for you too, at some point, we'll talk about that. But that would be a gift, I think, for everyone to be able to stand into that frequency again. But let's breathe in this energy that's coming up from Gaia, that's coming down from the stars, that's swirling in the center of our beings. Let's breathe it up through our toes. Let's breathe it into our elbows. Let's breathe it into the tips of our nose. Oh, let's sink down into it. Let's be open. Let's be willing. Let's be present. Let's be available to the yeses that we have put off for so long. And say yes to the magical you, and say yes to the magical beings. One of my new best friends is Stewie the Goblin, and he brings in such accountability to power, to our personal power, and being willing to say yes to the magic, and yes, that we will hone our gifts and show up and be sensitive and powerful at the same time. The wee folk, or what Stewie calls the ancient children of the earth, they are willing to be our allies in our meditation and in our reconnection to our childlike selves. There's so many here. They've been brought in by so many of you who have a natural connection to the Fae. So they just want to know that if you like to connect with them in your meditation and in your gardening and in your artwork, there's a myriad of ways to bring their energy into your life. And they would like to have some conversations with you about what balance means. And as Stewie says, he's a goblin, and he's like, who are the real monsters? Wouldn't it be the people that are desiccating the earth and that are just bringing, so much turmoil to Gaia, this sentient being that's holding us all? So he wants us to have accountability. Again, he's a huge monster on accountability about power that he'll take. He'll agree to that one. And there's just a genuine playfulness, but also an assertiveness of the Fae realm that I think Rev Ned knows. And yeah. So, and the gnomes are definitely with us today. They're shy, but they're here and they're hanging out. So there's a lot of giggling going on behind couches and whatnot, but they're here. So yeah, I just want you to again put your hand on your belly and your heart, and we're going to breathe in this energy, and we're just going to trust ourselves in whatever comes next, this Taoist moment that I think also Mr. Greg brought in was just this Taoist connection of moment to moment to moment. Each moment has its own beauty. The moment that you're in is absolutely sacred because you are the one experiencing it. So breathe in that energy, that love into your body. Hold it like a hug for just a moment. Exhale, release it, shake it out. Feel it, be it, you are it, you've always been it, it has always been you. It's always been in you, it has always been of you. Receive it all the way in. Feel it like a grin into your heart, into your center. You are a vortex of the never ending. Source, sending source, love through you, as you. Just where you are, as you are where you are. Thank you. Amen. Aho.
Thank you so much for that, Kat. That was very powerful. I'm still feeling it like shockwave. I did hear those gnomes giggling. So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Our absolute pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There's a little bit of celebration going on over here, so we're very grateful. Thank you.
Now we're going to open it up to the collective. We're on the verge of the spring equinox, which reminds me of the rebirth and the rebirth of self. And so with that energy, we'd like to set intentions or anything that you would like to heal. So anyone that would like to share a powerful intention, please do so. Ron, you have your hand up.
Yes. During Kat's meditation, although most of you know I couldn't close my eyes and go that deeply, a message came through to me to share. And the message was, each of us who are incarnate now have lived countless lives to become who and what we have become. We have gained lifetimes of knowledge and wisdom and power and experience to become the unique selves that we are. And we chose in that uniqueness to incarnate at this particular time together, because it's in that uniqueness that the world is going to go through the shifts that it needs to go through in order to bring that next frequency level, that next shift in consciousness. No accidents. We have lived countless lives so that our uniqueness could be here now, so that uniqueness could blend in the special way that only we can blend our energies to bring about the changes that we need to make in ourselves, to make in others, and to make in the reality in which we live. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that beautiful message and that intention for all of us. Thank you. Does anyone
Keisha,
else?
who's your dog? Sorry, Keisha, who's your dog? If I can, I want your dog's like, I'm here. I need to be part of this experience. So if you want to introduce your dog, that would be great. I think we need to respect her presence.
Come here. Come here. Hold 1 second. Come here. Hey. Zeus. Come here. He came over towards the end of the meditation and he put his paw on me. He was connecting. Come here.
Oh,
His name is Zeus, by the way. He just got distracted, or he's confirming actually. So yeah.
that's beautiful. There he is. Hello. Her dog likes to visit a lot during our groups. He loves the energy.
Yes.
Thank you. That is so beautiful. Eric, you have your hand up? What would you like to share?
Yeah, just wanted to share a vision I got during the meditation. So at some point I saw a bright white light, and it had the quality of moonlight somehow, and there were many small human-like figures coming from it, and they had wings, and yeah, there were just hundreds of small whatever coming from this moonlight.
Beautiful. Wow. Sad cats is very powerful with that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Eric. What a beautiful confirmation of our faith folk. Beautiful. Anyone else have anything they'd want to share or experience during any of this? Or an intention?
I didn't raise my hand, but okay. My intention is to I guess an awareness towards remembering. So speaking that out loud is, very powerful. So I want to do that in this space. And as far as during the meditation, I was getting it started with green, but then it was turning into pinks and purples, the energy around me. So it was beautiful. Thank you for that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Well, I don't know how to raise my hand, but
You're good.
Raise your elbow next time, okay? If you don't know how to raise your hand, raise your elbow. We'll see ya.
Okay. When Kat was saying something about, the energy from Mother Earth and the energy from the heavens, it collided in my heart chakra and and it was just created these beautiful stars. So that was awesome.
Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. I'm glad we're all connecting from that, what I call the heart space portal, our divine portal. For me, I see energies. So all these interconnected tubes of light just locking onto each other. It's just a beautiful experience. So I thank you all for your light today. Is there anybody else that wants to set an intention? Or, oh, I see your hand, Leena. Sorry, it's blending into your music note.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. This is such a beautiful collective of energy and bright light, and I love that the meditations was just beautiful, and it feels like we're all aligned, connected and having the same visions, not same visions, but we're almost like seeing the same vibrational essence of each other. So I just wanted to say it is such a beautiful container. I'm so honored that I got to speak and share, and thank you.
Thank you for being one with us and your beautiful light and the show of that light. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how many people look at this, but they always tell me candlelight draws the spirit because it's so close to that essence. And so I love that. I love that. Well, thank you all. Is there anybody else before we move forward?
I do. Yeah. I just have attention. I want to piggyback on what Leena was saying in terms of this. This energy is so it's so blissful and united in my experience. And so I'm just seeing this ripple, this frequency. And one of the things that I learned in this, listening to this thing about the Tao, is that, you think the water's moving. When a drop happens, you think that the water's moving, but the water's not moving. It's the frequency. It's the frequency that's moving through the water. So it ripples out. We do this energetically by being right where we are and being conduits for this wave that's rippling out. And I want to just add to what this portal that has opened with us and that we're holding and co-creating and agreeing to, and just magnetize with this frequency of love. This being the foundation, fundamental energy that we can come into for conflict and for confusion and for, wait, was this ego? Wait, was I projecting? Any of our stuff that we're still processing through, because we are still, we are children of the light, but we're still children. We're still figuring it out. And so, we can come in here as a safe space to experience that. So I'd like to invoke that as a tone, if that's agreeable to the group, and have that sort of energy ripple out. That's the frequency, and we become conduits for that, and we start to live that and exchange that in our interactions with each other, in authenticity, in our in our most authentic, loving, present, real self. So that's my intention.
That is so beautiful and so needed. Thank you. Jason, you're over there with your hand up.
All right, I have a couple of things that I want to say. So first, my intention is a piggyback off of the last meeting. I want to continue to be bold, right? So I want to continue being bold in the moment, being bold with the information that I'm getting. And, if the situation presents itself, in sharing that, right, with whoever. Because like I'm writing down all these little notes, and they're, they are saying you can't be timid. Right now is not the time to be timid. What good does it serve you, and what good is it serving of others, right? So like if you're getting information, and it doesn't have to be some specific, like your grandmother's name was Betty, she was born in June, she died of this. You could get a nudge saying this person just needs someone to reach out to them, right? This person just needs somebody to come and give them a hug, or just ask, how's their day going, right? Like messages come in all shapes, fashion, in forms. And now is the time to be bold. It's been a repeat message that I've been getting. So that was the first thing that I wanted to say. Second off, thank you for presenting this space, right, for like-minded people to come and share their experiences without judgment. It's so hard, even in these quote unquote spiritual communities where there's you still have these cliques, right? Like you still have the mean girls are over here, the band is over here, the math people are over here. So it's really comforting coming to a space that you're providing where it's very click free. So thank you for that. The third thing, I told you I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna make it fast though. I have 3 minutes. My third thing is with Zeus coming into the picture, right, and saying hello. It's the reaffirmation, or it should reaffirm the sense of trust your pets, right? Like I call my Mona, like I have 2 cats. One of them has a birthday today. My gatekeeper, Mona, the daughter. I have a mother and a daughter. So the daughter, I've always called her my gatekeeper. Anytime like energies would come through, she would come sit on my lap, and I was like, okay, she's not going to let anything, like she's protecting me, right? And she's also facilitating. It's weird. So, and then when Keisha said, "Oh, well, he's affirming this confirmation," like pay attention to your animals, and if you have little kids, also pay attention to them. I feel like that's my soapbox, and that is my time. So, thank you for letting me share.
Oh, you are so welcome, and thank you for that affirmation and the beautiful way you express yourself, because it means so much to me that you can speak from your heart in this space. I really, really am so thankful for that, and thankful for you, and that you're always here with such love. Thank you. Anyone else have anything they want to share before we move on? Are we good? All right, I just want to make sure. So thank you. Now we're just going to, as Kat spoke of before, just give 5 minutes of love and interconnectedness with each other, and just set that intention to have that connection. And then as we do that, that'll create the energy, and we'll move into Jeff's intuitive message once we all connect that energy and send love and power to each of our intentions for moving forward. It is such a transformative time right now. They are telling me repeatedly to step into your authenticity. Speak, not talk. Don't filter for what you think people will absorb or take in. When you speak your authenticity, it is absorbed. Those codes are put out into the world, and they will change things. But you have to be true to you first. And that is not selfish. So just hold that safe space for yourself. I love you. And now I'm just going to send you loving energy, and let's connect ourselves for just a few moments in time. Just feel that love wrap around you, and know you are held sacred. The divine does not create anything that is not unconditionally loved. Each one of you is very unique and holds a code that nobody else can access. And you give it away freely every time you speak from your heart space. Be the love you want to see in the world. Embody that divinity within you. You are the temple. No one else can be you. No one else has a story they've created like you. And that is the beauty of you. I raise you up in that divine love. May you feel it fill your heart space. Be that portal for divine love to flow out into every interaction, every thought, every word you speak. That is how the world changes. Thank you for sharing that love and light with me and with all of us here connected today, and all of those that are watching this and feeling the love pour through this frequency. May it touch each of your lives and light you up. Thank you. Just deep breath in center. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jeff. Are you there, Jeff? There he is.
I am here.
All right, Jeff. Would you please share your intuitive messages for us today?
Okay, first, I am deeply indebted to everybody here. My deep gratitude for your beautiful shares, Greg's music, Leena bringing us her life story, Kat bringing us his brilliant presentation and meditation, and all the beautiful shares. Thank you very much for you. It's just like I feel like the carpet's been rolled out under me to present myself. So, with that having been said, welcome, loved ones of the collective. Welcome to our space. Thank you so much for bringing your connectedness, for bringing your love, for bringing who you are, for bringing everyone you've brought with you today, everyone who you've known, everyone who's in your heart, for bringing everyone, Bill, that you know who would want to be part of this space. We may have only a few people on the Zoom screen, but we have thousands here, even millions. So thank you, all of you, for being part of this space, for bringing who you are, for bringing your love. We are so very connected, and our energies are so expanded to each of your presence. Thank you for being who you are. And we ask that you continue to be who you are, presenting yourself to your heart, presenting your soul and your spirit, never being reserved about presenting who you know yourself to be and who we are to you, and for always stepping into your magnificence from your light, deeper into your light, and always presenting who you are brilliantly and connecting with all of us brilliantly. That's all we can ask of you. Thank you for doing so brilliantly. There are so many in the collective, so many celestial beings in the multiverse. And we all proudly hold you in our hearts. Thank you so much from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you for that very moving message from the collective, Jeff. Thank you so much for being you and holding that space for them. I so appreciate it. Now we'll open it up to the collective. If there are any other intuitive messages or things that you would like to speak from your soul to the community here, just raise your hand or speak up if anybody has anything else. Yeah.
I just want to, the feeling is like vulnerability is the name of the game, and Jeff, good God, from the moment this thing started, vulnerability. So, and I just feel like that reflection was sacred that you gave us, Jeff. So I just want to reflect and acknowledge your sacred reflection of the divine holding us and celebrating with us in this continuum. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. To me, there's nothing else. It's all about our vulnerability and our love for each other, and anything else is just an obstruction.
Yes. And that's a theme that's been coming through from Source for me, as well as you can't be in that authenticity unless you are that vulnerability of open to love, because it's so ingrained that to be protective, that you're not safe, so those layers need to be peeled back and know that you are accepted and loved as you are. That open vulnerability of knowing that you could speak your truth and you'll be held within that loving space. And I thank you for your vulnerability. And I thank you all for being here today. Oh, Jason, I see.
Look, y'all are gonna like, Jason has something else. I do have something else to say. So I'm sitting here, there's a window in front of me, right? And I've had several things today, and so I've been surrounded by bumblebees today, and like I connect to bumblebees anyways. But like this bumblebee hovers in front of the window that I'm at, and that makes me think of not only being surrounded by it, but I saw this post today, and it was talking about how all of these rocket scientists have this poster at NASA, and it's a picture or a poster of a bumblebee. And it says something along the lines of, physically, a bumblebee should not be able to fly. The wingspan is not big enough to pick up or carry the weight of its body. But then you have these theories that say that it's the vibration of the wings that gives the lift to the bumblebee, right? So you hear about ancient technologies of people using sound to levitate huge stones. So it makes sense, right? So then this little bumblebee just popped by. It's like the message is be the bumblebee, right? No one ever told the bumblebee that it couldn't fly. The bumblebee doesn't know physics, right? The bumblebee just is. It vibrates at such a high frequency that the sky is now the limit, right? That vibration allows these magical things to happen for this little bumblebee. So bumblebee is going to be the theme of the day, right? Like be the bumblebee. Just be, and you don't have to live your life bogged down by these programs and this is what the teachings say, and this is what the world says. Right? The bumblebee trusts in its own vibration that now it's able to take flight. So, damn, I feel like I should write fortune cookies or little peel-off calendars. So yeah, be the bumblebee, and thank you for letting me share.
And I can still keep telling you, you should make oracle cards, please.
Show Buzzy. Can you show Buzzy? Is it easy to show Buzzy? Okay, this isn't extra, and I apologize for seizing, but it's for your benefit. Seizing control. Because
is that mine?
Oh.
I'm gonna spotlight it. I'm gonna spotlight him because I have the power.
I have.
It's Bumble.
Oh, I called him Buzzy. I'm so sorry.
He said, "Get it right, Kat. Get it right."
I'm sure. He's like, "I will sting you, my bro. I will sting you." Yeah. All right.
That's Bumble.
Oh, I love his artwork. Jason does beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Jason.
All right.
You're welcome.
Okay. How do I unspotlight Jason? Okay. Oh, I have to go to. Okay, thank you.
I got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for that beautiful message. In fact, the bees come up quite often for us, and in some of the sessions I've done, the bee people. Very beautiful. Be the bee. Just be comes through a lot. Beautiful. Okay. Eric, you have your hand up too?
Yeah, I just wanted to say what came up when Jeff went into his concentration. It was just, oh, hi, greetings to whoever came up. So that was just an intuition. Oh, hi, greetings.
Oh, that is beautiful. I am so glad you felt that in that moment with him. And
That's because Eric hangs out there all the time. That's why they're just like, oh, it's you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you kind of get like that after, they're always visiting, right? Like, oh, hi, you again. Here's a cookie. Thank you. That's so beautiful. All right. Is there anybody else that has anything they want to get off their soul before we close up for today? Are we good? Everybody feeling? Well, then we'll move on to our wonderful Rev Ned for his beautiful connectiveness closing blessing.
I wanted to say it first. Of all incredible high loving energies here, that my outward sacred water coming from my eyes went inside and touched my heart very, very deeply. All of you did. And Mr. Katman Extraordinary, you flooded the heart. I've been here trying to collect my thoughts to do this closing blessing. But to each and every one of you, I say thank you. The sound vibrations of the bowl are calling us to close this sacred gathering in good ways, to honor our connections and gratitude wrapped in the high energies of pure love. As the bowl energies connect us, so are we connected. Author and life coach Terry Kozlowski wrote, quote, "That is why you are a unique part of me. I may not know yet." End of quote. The high energies of all that is has much to share about how truly connected we are with one another. Many people teach where we humans are plus 99% identical. The visual differences or internal variations that occur in us are only due to a tiny variation in genetics, less than 1%. We are here on Earth together to celebrate our consciousness of unity and being one, but yet being unique in this cosmic consciousness. There are 4 main blood types, A, B, AB, O. These are just more connections for us. Think of the water within you and beyond you as so connecting to every human. We're connected by air and the wind people. We have the fire of life is in every one of our cells. These energies alone connect us. The sacred gathering is a gift to all to unwrap in some internal and eternal way of love and joy. Think of the unity of being connected when we activate our inner essence, our mind thoughts, and our heart thoughts, and then we interconnect with one another. You, yes, you, are a being of light. Think when we gather and mesh our light energies together, and then more beings of light interconnect. This potential of possibility is unlimited. What amazing ways to light it up and make a difference. How inspiring and delightful to discover our authentic selves, and then 100 discover their authentic selves and they connect, and then 1,000,000, and then 1,000,000,000. And these energies just keep expanding in oneness. The potential of one precious soul being transformed by the love and light is phenomenal. This transformation impacts the cosmos. We wrap the energies of the oneness of thanksgiving and blessing to each and every one that contributed to our sacred gathering of oneness for this celebration of consciousness, and extend these connections of thanksgiving to all who are supporting, to all those that are here and watching. This alone is bringing harmony, yes, and healing and the divine touch in expanding ways. Every one of us have gone through the stuff of this life and are going through things currently, and will go through things down the road on our journey. These trials and tribulations and life challenges alone connect us in very sacred ways. Let us quite be aware of much of the matrix that works hard in dividing ourselves and creating divisions amongst one another. We are created for the more of uniting and being one. Yes, amazing ones. Gathering in these ways and energies is good and holy and healthy, stirring the energies of harmonizing and healing. A most excellent way to bring others outside of our bubble of connection and create and expand the consciousness of us to cultivate compassion and empathy beyond our normal bubble of relationships and connections. This is celebrating consciousness. Our interconnections it's a high reason we are here in the now, to understand the diversity of beliefs and perspectives and bring our pieces of the cosmic puzzle together. We are in the divine dance of oneness. Irina Wiseman wrote, quote, "When we look at waves in the ocean, we see each one is independent in its formation and at the same time inseparable from the whole. There is no such thing as a wave without the ocean. In the same way, we are inseparable from each other and are connected to the whole body of life." End of quote. You are precious beyond words, and the mystical more of oneness is within you and around you. There is so much more. The wonderful winds of pure love and light and tranquility be yours. You are amazing being of the mystical more, till we meet again in these beautiful, wonderful ways. Amen and aho.
Aho. Hey, I just noticed that Greg Pacini came back, and I had a secret wish, and we have like 12 more minutes. And I was just wondering if maybe we'd all want to hear Greg sing again if he's available for it. Do you mind if I step in and...
Yeah, I tried to message him. I'm not sure. There he is. Oh, okay.
I'm so honored. I just literally walked in the door after driving back home from the wellness center where the power blew a transformer, apparently the hospital and the wellness center. So I just literally got back on at home. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Really? I don't have the mic. It's just off my computer. So you'd like me to play another song? Is that what you said?
That
Yes,
was my
please.
yes, yes.
Okay. It sounds like I didn't even tune yet, so I'm happy to. Let me see here.
Yeah, just make sure you have your musician sound on. Did you turn it on?
We good? Should I go ahead? Oh,
Yeah.
my
You have your
musician thing.
musician
Let me
sound.
see.
Yeah. Is it on? So we can hear your guitar.
Original sound. Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Thank you. The truth demands simplicity, for it reaches beyond cognition and emanates from a place found only in spirit. I have found if I can reason it, that it's still only a shadow of the truth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those gems of life-bringing wind become me. I do not discover them. I am through which they flow, and yet a part of here, oh here.